Hi everyone, Julie Grint here, the Love Your Life coach, and I want to let you in to a little piece of knowledge that you probably don't know about me because it's never really been at the forefront of kind of my message, what I stand for and how I help people. Because I think it's something that I never really realised was that much of an issue for me. But having done some deeper work on myself, I've realised that actually it was a big problem. And it was from moving that problem out of the way that I was then able to move into a much better level of health and a more relaxed state of body and mind, which then enabled me to become who I am today, right now. And in recognizing this, in having this realization, it's helped me to really hone in on how I want to serve you. And in doing that, it means that I can really embody my gifts and talents using my experience and knowledge to really help anybody out there who might feel like I used to feel. And what I really want, most of all, is to help women fall in love with their bodies. And that sounds quite simple, right? But when you're a woman and you don't love your body, it really isn't that simple. Excuse me, it's really cold and I'm wiping my nose with my finger. It's not that simple. And whilst I've spent a long time talking about stress and all that stuff, the symptoms that come with that, it's really, if we can get into one of the biggest problems that we face as a woman, then we can really release and get rid of a lot of that stress. So whilst I didn't really consider this to be a big problem, it has been a big part of my life and something that has helped me to really transform. And I didn't have a real physical problem with my body. It's not that I didn't really love it, but my body threw up a lot of challenges for me. And yeah, I take that back. I didn't love it because I used to abuse it. And it wasn't intentional, but I would make unhealthy choices with food. I would punish myself with food. And I know a lot of people out there have challenges around eating disorders that are very serious. I wasn't in that place, but I can understand it. My challenge with my body was it just didn't feel right. It didn't do what I wanted it to do. And I didn't like the way it looked. And I would get myself really worked up if I was going out somewhere, if it was a special occasion, especially where you're kind of on show and you have to kind of dress up and people are going to be looking at you. That would be a massive challenge for me. And it would take me hours upon hours to get ready. Nothing would look right on me. And I would drive myself into a state of despair. Really, really bad despair. And I would hate myself. I would hate the way I looked, and then I would be thinking all these terrible, crazy thoughts about what other people were thinking about me, and I would just belittle myself and really just want to be invisible the whole time. I didn't want to stand out from the crowd because of what I thought other people thought about me and the way that I looked. And because of how I felt about my body, this created a lot of stress. And there was, stress coming at me from lots of different angles. And when you don't like how you feel, it does create tension in your body. And so, although there were other stuff going on, I can't say what one thing caused what. There was a whole chain reaction going on in my body. But on top of all that, I had real bad problems with my digestion, my periods, and this would cause, bloating and pain and congestion in my body, which would then add to this feeling of really not liking the way I looked, and then me perceiving myself as looking like the pain that I've got. That I made that so massive that that's all I thought people could see, that I had this great big bloated belly, and I was living the pain basically. And when you live the pain and you make it bigger than you make your life really pretty miserable. And we don't intend to do it. We don't intend to do that. And it's not until we stop and take a step back and look at that and think, actually, why would I really do that to myself? And when we can recognise and have some awareness around what's really going on, and detach ourselves from what we think other people are thinking, we can then really start to make some big changes. So I was then able to step back from myself and view myself from a different perspective. And I realised that those thoughts in my head were really creating a lot of these problems that I did have in my body. And to cut a long story short, once I had that realisation, I then started to change the way I looked at myself. I started to change what I put inside my body, and I started to change how I took care of it. So I went from, beating it up and punishing myself to actually starting to nurture me. And then that became my new way of being. And I actually then really started to respect my body and love my body. And when you really love your body, that then sets this new chain reaction where, you start to exude love. You start to exude radiance because you love your body, you can then start to love yourself. And then when you love yourself, you can then start to love your life. And this is what I want to share with the world and to all women, that we don't have to think so far ahead and look at that thing that we want and think it's so far out of our reach and tell ourselves that we're never going to get there, because we've just got to bring it back to us, back now in this moment, and just give ourselves permission to allow our bodies to be as they are, and then make a choice. Decide, are you going to carry on, or are you going to take that first step and start to nurture you? Because nobody else can do that for you. I realised that. I created a lot of stress and pain in my life trying to please other people, and it doesn't get you anywhere. I really wanted to be happy. And when I started to open that door, turn that key, towards self-love by simply just learning to love myself in the most simple, most practical way, which, is just some simple, healthy food, some self-care. It doesn't need to be out of your reach. Loving your body can be a very simple process that can give you really enormous positive results. So I just want to leave that there with you today, just to let you know that that's where I came from. And also just to say that if you resonate with this in any way, I'd love to have a chat with you. And, from my heart to your heart, I would give you, a session with me, because if there's something that I can help you with today, that we can share in a conversation that is going to have you feeling differently in a more positive way about your body, then, that would make me really, really happy, because that's what I want for you. I want you to love yourself. And if we can start with your body, then, this just, it will open up so much for you, for your life moving forward. So you can send me a private message. I'll put a link into my calendar. And this really is genuine from my heart. Get on a call with me and let's have a chat, and let's talk about what's going on with you, and let's share our stories. And if I can help you feel a bit better today, then, why not gift that to yourself? So thank you for listening. And I really look forward to speaking with you and sharing our stories together so that we can help each other to move forward.